SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Are you a business owner looking for help with HR benefits and payroll? MWG Employer Services offers a wide range of services and can create a custom plan that fits your needs and budget.
I was so overwhelmed with HR stuff. MWG Employer Services took all the stress out of it and even set up my payroll. I couldn't be happier. MWG
Employer Services is here to help you succeed. Call us today at 601-206-7966 or go to MWGEmployerServices.com.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
A year ago, we came up here to Corinth for the annual Slug Burger Festival, and while we had a great time, it was fantastic. Great people. I got to eat a slug burger. Michael Borky drank some weird sodas. It was so hot. I was sliding out of my chair with the sweat. Today, it's nice. It's cool. We got a little rain right now, but I think that's going to get on past us, and we're going to have a great time here in Corinth. It's Sports Talk Mississippi live on location here in Corinth for the annual Slug Burger Festival, a tradition that goes back a long, long time up here in North. How long is that? 39 years. So it's not older than me, but that's still a long time to have a festival. I'm Brian Haydad. Will East is in Studio X. As far as I know, nobody told me anything different. Is that an accurate statement of fact?
I am here, Brian Haydad.
There he is.
In the nice dry studio.
Oh, no, we're plenty dry here in Corinth. Gary has set up a double tent situation here. I couldn't be happier.
Oh, I was talking about that dribble on your shirt there. Made you look.
Made me look. I thought, you know what? I had chicken and dumplings for lunch, so it's possible that I could have. It's possible that there was something. It wasn't out of. It was not. It was a. What is it? They say a greater than 0% chance that was going to be. Strong possibility. We're glad to be up here in Corinth today. We got a great show planned for you. We're going to be talking to some of the fine folks here in Corinth and working with the Slug Burger Festival. We got some good stuff, too, as far as sports goes today. A little later in the show, Bill Bender will join us from the Sporting News. We talked a little Big 12 yesterday with John Talty. Let's talk some Big 10 today. And we'll throw an SEC question his way as well. Of course, wherever we go, we're in the Pearl River Resort Studios, pearlriverresort.com. That is the place to have the weekend that you want to have. Golf, dining, live entertainment, or just relaxation. It's all right there for you at Pearl River Resort, pearlriverresort.com. C-Spire text line open to you at 601-879-4395. It is tax-free weekend. It's starting today. And at C-Spire, it's even better. You get the best deals and skip the taxes on any new phone. It's the perfect time to switch or upgrade your device or save even more while you're at it. Plus, you definitely need to check out the latest deals at C-Spire before they're gone, like a free iPhone 17 Pro Max or a free Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra with trade-in. Shop now at cspire.com or visit your local C-Spire store today. C-Spire, customer inspired. One of our great Super Talk people, Miss Carrie, was just here. She was showing me her new iPhone 17 Pro Max. She's like, the camera on this, I could be a professional photographer. Definitely go check that out if you're going to be at C-Spire. So today, this weekend, actually, today and tomorrow, every year the SEC Network does these takeovers. And what do? They're not really super fan-friendly. Let's just be totally honest. They try to, Hold on. Let me channel my inner Richard Cross. Let me see if I can do a tryout here for him in the morning. Let's just call it what it is. It's a DEI initiative. All right? Well, I didn't watch that volleyball game when it was live. Why would I watch a replay of it? So they try to get all of their sports in there and everything. And I've said this for a long time. The SEC Network they really miss the boat in the summer. It should just be classic games, wall to wall, all the time. So here's what I've done for you guys. And the Ole Miss fans, I don't think I didn't take care of you. Today is your takeover day. Like right now, you could probably watch a softball game. I think you would prefer Brian Haydad, program director. By the way, if SuperTalk ever needs a program director, I think this is a great resume for me, and I show that I know how to stack up programming. So I've got you set up, staying in Ole Miss, midnight to midnight. Are you ready? You want to hear my? I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say what I just said. That's a prelude to profanity. I don't ever want to. Are you prepared for my Ole Miss lineup?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's say midnight Thursday. We got a lot of football on here. We got a little basketball, a little baseball. We got one women's basketball game. Don't say I didn't throw them a bone. Ole Miss, Alabama. By the way, all of these games, I had one caveat. I've seen these games on television. I know the SEC has the film. I know they have the video of this game. I'm not asking them to go into the archives too deep. 2001, Ole Miss versus Alabama, 27-24 Rebels. First win for Ole Miss over Alabama since I guess 88. And I don't know the last time they had beaten them in Oxford prior to that, because that game in 88 was in Tuscaloosa. We talked about that yesterday. So we're going 90 minutes on these football games.
That was an Eli Manning,
what
was it, 47?
Bad rainy day in the state of Mississippi. That was the day. 1:30 to 3 a.m. Now you're gonna have to be a night owl for this one, but it's worth it. I remember watching this on TV. I know the film exists. 1999, Ole Miss 24, Auburn 17. Ole Miss goes to Auburn and beats Tommy Tuberville in the first game since he left. Now let me ask you something, Will. I assume you watched that game. You may have been at that game.
Went to overtime, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think about that an overtime game could have a final score of 24-17. But regardless of that, did you watch that game?
I listened to it on radio.
All right. Have you ever, since it happened, been able to watch it again?
No.
Would you watch it if it was available?
Yes.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Especially now because Tommy Tuberville, by the way, in the news.
Maybe the governor of Alabama.
He's running for governor. He's going to win, probably.
He's already been a senator. All right. From 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., we're going to men's basketball. I'm going to go 2011, Ole Miss 71, Kentucky 69, Chris Warren on the buzzer beater to beat the top 10 ranked Wildcats.
That was a wild night
4
after
a.m.
that.
I bet. 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., let's go to the last NCAA tournament. Ole Miss 71, North Carolina 64.
Yep.
It's an hour condensed basketball game. I think everybody will enjoy it. We'll do baseball, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Ole Miss 5, Southern Miss nothing in the Super Regional. So Ole Miss goes to the College World Series. All right.
I remember.
Now we're going back to
football. I can still feel the heat of that game because it was so hot on the field. I kid you not. I think that catcher for Southern almost passed out.
That time of year, yeah, I can absolutely believe it. All right, back to football. 90 minutes for football, an hour for the baseball and basketball. So from 6 a.m. to 7:30, I got 2012, Ole Miss 30, Arkansas 27. That, to me, is the rebirth of Ole Miss football game. Like, they had been down for so long for those 3 years under Nutt. And then when they I remember clearly, that was the same day that's the same day as the We Believe game against Alabama. And I remember talking to my cousin and saying, the tide just turned a little bit in this state on this day. Just mark that down. And I was right. I was absolutely correct about that. It was one of the few predictions I get right every now and then. 7:30 to 9 a.m., time to wake up. We're going to wake up with a big one. We talked about it yesterday. 2013, Ole Miss 39, Vanderbilt 35. Great college football game.
Yep.
Yeah, great college football game. All right, we go back to basketball. We're going to throw Keith Carter a bone on this one. 1998, Ole Miss 73, Kentucky 64. We'll let Keith see his former glory right there. So he can have that one. And then Ole Miss 59, Notre Dame 56. Ole Miss goes to the Sweet 16. I think that's 2008. I didn't write down the year for that one. But that's the first trip to the Sweet 16 under Rod Barnes. They beat Notre Dame in the round of 32. 11 a.m. to noon. We'll get the women in there. Ole Miss women 69, Baylor 63. Again, Ole Miss to the Sweet 16. That's 3 years ago. All right, noon to 1:30 is a big one. That's where we're going to replay the College World Series final game from 2022.
All right.
And then 1:30 to 3, Ole Miss 10, Louisiana 4. First trip to Omaha in however many years for Mike Bianco and the Rebels. All right? We finish strong. It's all football from this point on. 3 to 4:30, the 1997 Egg Bowl. Now, the reason I scheduled that 3 to 4:30, just in case they actually did this, I want to make sure I'm working at that time, so there is no chance that I turn on the television and that game is on. I want 100% guaranteed that I have safe. I want to declare myself, I want to mark myself safe from that game. I want there to be no chance that I turn, like, oh, is that Mississippi State? Is that the Egg Bowl? Is it raining? No! Is that Stuart Patridge? Ah! Ah! I don't need that in my life. Exactly. That's something like that. All right. 4:30 to 6. We go to 2024. Ole Miss 23, Georgia 10. Maybe the most defensively for sure in my lifetime. I don't know if there's been a more dominant performance by the Ole Miss Rebels defensively. In my opinion.
I mean,
Georgia could have had 100 drives. I don't know that they were going to score. So, all right. You can guess what's coming these last 3 slots I got to fill. We'll do that when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi, we're live here in Corinth, Mississippi at the annual Slug Burger Festival. I've taken over the SEC Network's takeovers. It's a double takeover. Back in just a minute.
Some girls do, like boys like me. You know some girls do.
Your number one for Sports Talk.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Come on, don't be shy.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Bingo, man, bingo.
Super Talk Mississippi.
We're back here on Sports Talk Mississippi, live in Corinth, Mississippi at the annual Slug Burger Festival. I'm Brian Haydad. Will East is in Studio X. What we're doing right now is this. In case you missed the first few minutes of the show, today is Ole Miss Takeover Day on the SEC Network. And it's an incredibly great concept, right? A full day. They do it for all 16 teams. You get to watch, some of the great moments of your team. But they've changed it up over the past few years, and they've turned it into this thing where they're replaying, no offense to these athletes, right? I don't have a problem with them. Make some NIL money, play your sport, live your life. But not a lot of people want to watch replays of volleyball and softball. And, with Ole Miss, they do a lot of stuff with the season, which is a really great, well-done production. But at the end of the day, fans just want to watch classic games. That's all we really want, and so that's what I've taken it upon myself. We did I got most of the Ole Miss lineup out of the way, then we'll switch to Mississippi State. We're in prime time now, though, Will. It's 6 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. I think you know what I'm going to air in the biggest viewing window. We're going to go with the 2025 Sugar Bowl in that one, and we're going to give that a full 2-hour treatment. We'll get 2 hours. Yeah, it does. And so does the next one. From 8 to 10, we'll do the 2016 Sugar Bowl for the Ole Miss Rebels. So we get back-to-back as much sugar, pour some sugar on me as you can get. 4 hours of the Sugar Bowl. What more can I do for y'all at that point? Rebel fans, nobody takes care of you like Haydad does. And then we'll wrap it up. We'll go 10 to midnight with one of the best college football games I've ever seen. 2023, Ole Miss 55, LSU 49. We close with an absolute banger. That's a great lineup of programming. I would have Ole Miss fans locked in. So, I'm just saying, ESPN, SEC Network, if you're listening. I don't want to leave my job at SuperTalk, but I will certainly take on a consulting role.
That's a very good lineup. But I'm more excited to hear your Mississippi State lineup because this is close to your heart.
It's right here. There's a lot of cholesterol, if we're being honest.
That aorta is filled up with a lot of Mississippi State memories.
And triglycerides. So, let's jump in then. Let's do it. 12 a.m. Soon. I'm just giving it to LSU in the evening here. Right? They go straight from having to watch. They go straight from having to watch Ole Miss beat them to having to watch Mississippi State beat them. Mississippi State 34, LSU 26 from 2014. We talked about that game yesterday. We'll start off with that.
All right.
And then I kind of, Auburn. We'll get Tuberville again. Mississippi State 18, Auburn 16 from 1999. One of the craziest games I've ever had the pleasure of attending. An unbelievable comeback. Grown men running up and down the stands, not knowing what to do with their hands. It was unbelievable. All right, we'll switch to basketball. 3 a.m. Now, look, not a great season last year, but I'm going to play Mississippi State 91, Auburn 85, the game where Josh Hubbard went off for 46 points. I want to watch that again because I was in the stadium for that one. I'm watching it. I would like to replay that one because, goodness, that's one of the all-time performances. 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. We're going to go Mississippi State 60, UConn 55. Mississippi State goes to the Elite Eight, beats Ray Allen in the 1996 tournament. 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. We'll do a little baseball. Just from this past year, Mississippi State 9, LSU 8, the Jacob Parker Grand Slam game. I think everybody would love. That's a great way to wake up. 5 a.m. and Jacob Parker's launching a 2-0 breaking ball into the right field lounge. Why not?
All right.
Let's start your day like that. All right. 6 a.m. Let's start off with one of my favorite games. 1998, Mississippi State 22, Arkansas 21. State wins this game to essentially clinch the SEC West and clinch their spot in the SEC championship game. Brian Hazelwood with a field goal that, you really wish the uprights went up about 100 feet so you could see because that's the highest kicked ball I've ever seen in my life. 7:30 to 9. This is one of my favorite games, and it's one of Willie's favorite games as well because he was there, I believe. 2000, Mississippi State 47, Florida 35. 3rd and 57, Spurrier chunking his visor all over the place. I want to see that again.
Beautiful.
I haven't watched that game in its entirety since it happened. I want to see that again. SEC Network people, please listen to me. We go back to basketball now. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., one of my favorite games. That I was at this game, and literally, you can't find highlights of it even on YouTube. Mississippi State 61, Ole Miss 59, 2002. The talent on the field, the court for these two teams. State had Mario Austin, Derek Zimmerman, Timmy Bowers, Michael Ignerski. Ole Miss had the entire Provine posse at that point. And had, well, they did. They had Reed and Harper and Sanders and had Jason Harrison out there. Harper missed a three with a few seconds left. I have never been more convinced in my life a shot was going to go in. When it left his hand, I had that slow motion of, no, and it didn't go in somehow. I have no idea. The whole time they were in timeout drawing up the play, I was just like, look, whatever happens, as long as Aaron Harper doesn't get a clean look at a three, it'll be all right. What do you think happened? But somehow he missed. All right, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Mississippi State 74, Kentucky 69 in overtime. The crazy game where State was down 21-2 and came back. Mario Austin with a ridiculous three-pointer there in overtime. One of those no yes kind of shots that you, when the big guy pulls up, that's what you get.
Yeah.
11 a.m. to noon. Quite honestly, maybe the most famous win in Mississippi State history. Mississippi State 66, UConn 64 in the NCAA Final Four, Women's Final Four, to knock off the defending champs and snap their 111-game winning streak. It honestly might be the biggest win in school history outside of the next one, which is at noon we would play the 2021 College World Series Final. We'll give them that. 1:30 to 3. I was talking about this game yesterday. Maybe it's a selfish one, but the SEC Tournament 2024, Mississippi State 2, Ole Miss 1, the walk-off. Now, I'll go and tell you, you can tune into this broadcast at 2:56. All right, you don't need to watch from 1:30 to 2:55. Nothing happened there worth talking about. But I want you glued in at 2:55. Then we'll finish up again with football. 3 to 4:30, the 2010 Gator Bowl. Mississippi State 52, Michigan 14. Let's just throw a blowout in there. Let's just throw one that you won easily.
What year was that?
2010. I guess it's technically 2011 because it was on New Year's Day. That's Mullen's second year.
Okay. I'm trying to remember playing Michigan. I just don't
in the Gator Bowl that year. Yeah, that was Rich Rod's last game as head coach at Michigan.
Yes.
State just destroyed them that day. 430-6, 2021, Mississippi State 43, Auburn 34. The 28-3 comeback, where State just they could not be stopped. It was one of the craziest things I've ever watched. That every pass Will Rogers threw was to an open receiver. Auburn could not get stops. They could not do anything. So we'll go with that one. 6-8. Just a sentimental favorite, the 2022 Egg Bowl, Mississippi State 24, Ole Miss 22, the last game ever coached by Mike Leach. Had no idea as he walked off the field that day that I would never see him coach another game. So that's going to be our primetime pick. 8-10, 2014, Mississippi State 38, Auburn 23. Bulldogs win, and they were number 1 in the nation the next day. And then, I got to finish with an Egg Bowl, right? 10-12 ago, 1999, the 1999 Egg Bowl. Maybe the most, for state purposes, the most dramatic win. I'd say 97 for Ole Miss and 99 for Mississippi State in terms of the other team does not want to see. They don't want to rewatch that game. Rebel fans are like, Ole Miss fans at 10 o'clock are like, all right, turn off TV. It's time to go. It's time to go to bed. So it's just not that difficult, guys. I don't understand.
Maybe
I really don't understand.
Maybe it's a rights issue or something. I don't know.
I can't imagine that it is, because you're the SEC, right? You got to have the rights to all this. Now, maybe some of these CBS games, I could see that, but if that's the case, it's still easy to fill them in. It's still easy to just find other non-CBS games. There's plenty of them from ABC, ESPN, JP. Back in the day, you have to be able. You can't convince me the conference doesn't have the rights to the games that its teams play in.
And I know that the universities have these archives somewhere, because I helped archive some of these one time. And so there's like a room at one of the buildings there where they keep all this stuff, and you could just go in there and
just plug it in, man.
Yeah.
Imagine if I told you that for 16 days in the middle of summer, we were going to have classic games on 24 hours a day for 16 straight days. Who's not locked into that?
Do you remember ESPN used to have a channel, ESPN Classic? Remember that?
Yeah. And I'm just thinking, like, even somebody like me who's not an Alabama fan, right? But if I guess I should say an Auburn fan. But if the 2013 Iron Bowl is on television and I can rewatch the Kick 6 game in its entirety, I'll watch that. I'll absolutely tune into that. So, just my thoughts. What games would you like to see if we were doing a takeover? What did I leave out for State and Ole Miss? Let me know on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. We'll do that when we come back. We'll go to the text line and get some of those thoughts there. We're live here in Corinth at the annual Slug Burger Festival. We'll be back in just a minute.
From this Talk, Mississippi.
Here we go.
SuperTalk, Mississippi.
We're not going to let a little rain keep us from having a great time here in Corinth at the annual Slug Burger Festival. I'm Brian Haydad, SportsTalk Mississippi, here live in North Mississippi. 39th annual Slug Burger Festival. Excuse me for just a moment. But down around Vicksburg. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate you, Will East, running that run. So what we just did while y'all, if you weren't tuned in, we were talking about the SEC Takeover Day. Today is Ole Miss. Tomorrow is Mississippi State. And it's just not the fan-friendly thing that it probably should be. It's got it. We prefer 24 hours of those classic games. I gave you my ideas. Here's some of y'all's here on the C Spire text line. Let us know what you want to. What games did I miss? If you're a State fan, if you're an Ole Miss fan, what game would you like to see out there? Darren and Jackson said Eli Manning's touchdown pass to Joe Gunn with 46 seconds left in the game against Alabama in 2001. I was there. That's a great memory, I'm sure. Jeff a USM fan not happy with me that I brought up that super regional. Jeff, I mean, that's the way it goes sometimes, all right? You know, Southern Miss has plenty of great wins. You know, this has happened to be one. It'd be all right. Jefferson Pilot with the 3 Daves. Hell yeah. Oh. I do miss every now and then. I get a little itch that can only be scratched by some Jefferson Pilot 3 Daves. Dave Neal. Oh, Dave Neal. Dave Buzz Baker. Who was the other Dave? The one who did color commentary. Oh, I can't remember his name. Buzz Baker was on the sidelines. And, of course, Dave Neal, who still calls games. We had him on Thunder and Lightning last year. What a legend he is. But somebody let me know on the C Spire text line. Who is the other Dave? I can't remember. 2021. College World Series versus Texas, the Will Bednar game. Here's the problem with that. Which one? He had 2. He had 2 games where he was just dominant against Texas. So, yeah, those are definitely worth bringing up. Dave Rowe, that's right. Thank y'all. 2019 Ole Miss Instant Karma Egg Bowl. See, I love, again, that's another one where I'll tune in for like the last 5 minutes. That game was miserable to watch. Neither team could move the football. That was just 2 not great teams that we happen to have one of the all-time
best moments.
Incident. Yeah.
You know what you do with that?
Andy Kennedy.
What's that? You condense a bunch of the early part of the game, and then that last part, you just played at the full length.
Basically, what I want is the game in full from Ole Miss converting a 4th and 25 to the end. Because it's 4th and 25. Everybody in the stadium's like, all right, it's over. And then Corral hit, I forget who it was. And I remember I was on the sidelines, and as Corral throws the ball, I just said, well, I said something I can't say on the air, but it was followed by, he's open. He caught the ball, and, hell of an ending for sure. 2015 Mississippi State, Arkansas blocked field goal. That's a great choice. Any game where the score is 51-50, we'll rewatch that game. We'll definitely do that. MSU, LSU 2017, Egg Bowl 2013, basketball 2022 versus Tennessee, 2025 versus A&M. Baseball, College World Series versus Texas, both games. The 2019 Stanford Regional Game 2, I wouldn't mind seeing that again. McNamee's big home run there at the end. 2021 Game 2 of the finals, got that one in there. 2008, Ole Miss versus LSU in Tiger Stadium. Jevin Sneed was lights out. Only time I've ever seen LSU fans leave early. It was wild. That's a little known. That's kind of one of those things that's kind of under the radar about LSU fans is, yes, when LSU is tough and they're playing well, Tiger Stadium, incredibly difficult place to play.
Electric.
They'll leave if you get out on them. They're happy to go back to the tailgate. I've seen Tiger Stadium like that a few times.
Texas A&M last year. Their game against Texas A&M last year.
They'll get out of there for sure. 2014 and 15 Ole Miss versus Alabama. I mean, how can you go wrong with those two? Again, if somebody of the programmers will just let me know when the Quincy Adebayo play is going to happen, I'll make sure that I'm in a closet somewhere. All right, lights off, no social media. I don't want to hear about it. So here we go here. Ole Miss versus Notre Dame in 1977. Ole Miss was the only team to beat them that year. I heard it on the radio. They could not take the Mississippi Heat. Only problem with our theory here is that I don't think TV exists for this game. I don't know that there is a film of this game, so I don't know if we can make it work.
TV.
What's the earliest Ole Miss game you remember watching on television?
That I remember?
I told you mine the other day. It's 86, Mississippi State versus Tennessee.
It was probably, like 1988, 90, Egg Bowl.
I got out in the rain for y'all.
I'm trying to remember. It was an Ole Miss win. I remember that. And you remember they used to do these interviews with the coaches like immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
And they were a lot more candid back then than they are. They didn't get the coach speak.
Right.
But I just remember Billy Brewer was just, he came to take care of it. I can't remember the
It's got to be like
year.
92.
Was it night?
In Oxford, the goal line stand?
It must have been. I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was a very young kid. And it's one of those where you can't find it anymore.
Oh, yeah. You can't. I don't know if that's on there or not.
My first Mississippi State memory, though, in football was Mississippi State tying Alabama in Gene Stallings' last year. Remember that? Gene Stallings.
They beat them.
Did they beat them? Maybe they beat them.
Yeah. 96, they won 17-16.
I remember that because it happened on my birthday, and we watched that football game. Yeah.
Well, Jackie Sherrill had a little gift for you. That's nice of her. Bulldog fan wants the 96 SEC basketball championship game. I thought about that. I thought about putting that one in. That game is almost in its entirety on YouTube. You can find it if you want to watch it. There's another one that would probably be awesome to have, but the Ole Miss 38 Tennessee nothing, the Archie Who game. But the film just I thought about Ole Miss played that crazy game with Alabama, like the first ever SEC televised game with Manning throws but that's a loss. I didn't want to put it on there I didn't want Ole Miss fans thinking I was holding them down. I would like to see the Egg Bowl in Jackson where State's winning field goal went through the uprights, but the wind blew it black out. I don't want to see that at all. I got to be totally honest with you.
Now the video of that actual play it exists. It exists.
It's on YouTube. I don't recommend, if you're a Bulldog, I don't recommend searching for it. Only Heartbreak works on the other end of that YouTube search. Matt Corral to Braylon Sanders. I told him we aren't running that play on the radio post game. That's good stuff. The last time Ole Miss played Memphis and got beat. What do we got, a Memphis fan here? Let me know when American Conference is doing their takeover day, and we'll be happy to. 2010 Gator Bowl, we got that. Immaculate deflection, just missed it. Southern fan who would like to rewatch the leap to beat Ole Miss, Sammy Winder. Okay, for sure. The Ole Miss Peach Bowl 2023, Ole Miss 38, Penn State 25. The first two drives of that game, I thought Penn State was going to win. They were running the ball, and I was like, it doesn't look good. And then about midway through the first quarter, I was just like, nope, no sir, Rebels got this one. Feed Moncrief, Egg Bowl. I'm not going to read that quote. That's a terrible thing.
Oh, that was a beautiful game.
This picture, that's the 2009 Egg Bowl from Dixon with Love. That's a good one. Just tune in. What are y'all talking about? We're talking about the SEC Takeover Day. They do Ole Miss and State, and I tried to liven it up a little bit. So we're trying to figure out some more games. Will from Kosciuszko wants to see 2017 Mississippi State versus Alabama. Will, are you an Alabama fan? Why would you want to watch that game? I don't want to watch that game ever. Favre over Alabama with having his guts cut out 3 weeks earlier. Okay, you watch that. 2013 Egg Bowl. Never a bad time to watch the 2013 Egg Bowl. So some good options there. Yeah, like I said, I think if they did something like this where they asked fans, what games would you like to see, and then put all of that together, live TV isn't something that a lot of people watch anymore. I get that. Everybody's streaming and everybody is, doing on-demand and everything else. That's the other thing, by the way. If the SEC ever came up with an on-demand app where they just had those archives you were talking about earlier, and you could just go in there, search by team, search by season, search by opponent, and watch football, basketball, baseball, whatever they've got, who wouldn't pay $19.99 a month for that? Would you pay $20 if you knew
I've paid $20
that you could,
a month for it, but like a season.
Okay, would you pay $50 a year? But you know that you're sitting there at home on a Saturday. You know what? I want to rewatch an Ole Miss football game from 1998. Put it in.
So on YouTube, some of these games are, especially the further you go back, the harder they are to find. But occasionally, I will do that. I will put on a game.
Yeah,
I did it the other day. Of course, this is the Sugar Bowl against Georgia this year. I put on that game and just it's like they condense it down to about an hour, maybe less.
Yeah.
I watched that game, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't remember. I'm like, I forgot about that.
Exactly.
That
you see those things
earlier this year. I can't imagine these games that go back, decades.
Exactly.
I remember them, but I don't remember all the details.
It's $1 million idea, SEC. Just take it off us. By the way, last one from Will and Kosciuszko. Mississippi State Auburn 2008, 3-2, the greatest game of all time. Buddy, I was at that game. I'd rather be waterboarded than have to watch it again. There is no amount of money you could pay me to sit out and watch that game in its entirety again.
Whenever somebody brings that game up, I always say I was in the post-game press conference with Houston Nutt when he walks in and says, "What's the score?" And somebody said 3-2, and he goes, "In baseball," you know how he does.
All right, when we come back, I'm going to sit down with the mayor. We're live in Corinth at Sports Talk, Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Hey, it's go time.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Well, say something.
Super Talk Mississippi.
We are back here on Sports Talk Mississippi, live in Corinth, Mississippi, at the 39th annual Slug Burger Festival. We were here last year. I'm glad to be back here again, and I'm glad to be sitting with the mayor of this fine town, Ralph Dance. I got to ask, it's the first question. I bet you get it a lot, though.
What's that?
Any relation?
No relation.
Okay.
No relation.
Got to get him turned up a little bit here. There we go. I just had to ask. I had to get it out of the way.
I get it about 20 times a year.
I bet you do, yeah. As soon as I saw Dance, I was like... So, 39 annual Slug Burger Festival. I love a small town festival. We have so many of them up here, especially in North Mississippi. It seems to be such a thing. What makes this the most special one to you?
Well, being in our city, number one, we love the Slug Burger Festival. You know, it's the Slug Burger is an icon around here. I've been eating them since I was old enough to sit at the counter at Borham's Drugstore, and it's just an iconic event to have here. And the Main Street does such a great job putting it on. They go through a lot of effort every year to get it set up, and I just couldn't brag on them enough. They do great.
What is it about a Slug Burger that you like the most?
You know, it's an acquired taste.
It is.
It's
good, though.
It is good. It's an acquired taste, but after about that 15th one, they grow on you. But you know, you just got to get the right amount of ketchup and mustard and pickle and an onion on it.
There you go.
But they're real good. I don't, you know, like I said, it's just iconic when you know the story behind it. When it comes from the back in the old days during the Depression and stuff, and it's just kind of an iconic item. And when we have people visiting here and we get to tell them to have one, they're really different.
It's very Mississippi.
It is, absolutely.
How many people does the city expect to see come down Main Street basically over the next few days?
I'm going to say probably 2,000 or 3,000. I don't know, maybe more. You know, they got the car show tomorrow. They got the concerts tonight, weather permitting. So it'll be a good influx for us.
That's a good point. As mayor, were you not able to ratchet up some better weather?
Well, I tried, but weatherman just doesn't listen to me.
I know how that goes. When you think about what this town, what this festival means to this town, when people talk to you about the Slug Burger Festival, is it about, I brought my kids and now they're...
Absolutely. I brought my son, now he's bringing his grandkids, or my grandkids, his kids, and it's generational, and I go back way past this, back to where we didn't have stuff like this. You'd have the fair at the fairgrounds every once in a while, but it's something to look forward to for the city of Corinth and Alcorn County every year, to be able to come out here and enjoy the rides and enjoy the music and enjoy the food.
Is it one of those things where, some festivals never change, right? It's the same thing every year, and that's how people want it.
That's right.
Then you have some festivals where they try to add a little this and that. What kind of festival is this?
Well, this is kind of they kind of use the same platform every year. With the carnival, they changed the entertainment, and which that's changed over the years. They now moved it to the Trailhead Park, which is great, and I think they've got some great entertainment coming tonight and tomorrow night also. And so it's just a great festival.
Yeah. What are we doing in Corinth when we're not at the Slug Burger Festival?
Well, right now we just got through cleaning up a lot of debris. So, but other than that, we're trying to fix drainage problems and sewer problems, and we've got a lot of paving we need to catch up on. But after this storm came through, it kind of wreaked havoc on the road. So we've got a lot to do. The city's in great shape. We just got to pick up where we left off before we started cleaning all this mess up.
When people who aren't from Corinth ask you, "Okay, if I've come to Corinth, where should I go visit?" Where do you like to tell them?
Well, I think always you got to visit the tourism office and get a pamphlet, which is right next door, and you've got a lot of great things to see. You got the interpretive center, you got the Curley House, you've got the museum behind the tourism office. You've got to go down to Borham's, and go downtown. Unfortunately, our Our courthouse is closed right now, but that's just a historic monument too. And but our SoCo district is booming. We've got restaurants coming. Things are looking great. So if you're down here, visit our downtown area.
I'm from Vicksburg, so Civil War history.
Absolutely.
I grew up on it as well, and of course Corinth is a huge spot for that.
Absolutely, and we embrace all of our visitors, and we want them to come and have a good time and spend a lot of time in the downtown area. Get off the highways and come downtown and spend a few hours because it's a great little town to be visiting with.
Yeah, all these, like I said, North Mississippi is just such a special place. I feel like people talk about the coast a lot, and they talk about the Pine Belt. I tell people all the time, like, man, when you got all these towns in North Mississippi like Corinth, you should definitely go visit them because it's just a great. It really is like a hometown USA kind of thing.
Absolutely. Our main street and our tourism does such a great job. If you can get here during the Christmas holidays, they light these streets up. They decorate for days, and these ladies do such a great job putting it out there and promoting it. And if you don't have anything to do after Thanksgiving around Christmas time, come visit. Look at what they do to this downtown area. It's just great.
We've just got about a minute left. If I said, look, we need you to break the slug burger eating record tonight, could you do it?
I could not. I might be doing good to get 2 down. Like I said, they're great, but 2's my limit.
There you go. Mr. Mayor, we appreciate you having us here today. Appreciate all you do for the city of Corinth, and, man, I'm glad to be here with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, and welcome to Corinth.
Appreciate you. Mayor Ralph Dance here with us on Sports Talk Mississippi at the 39th Annual Slug Burger Festival. We got a lot more to talk about here on Sports Talk Mississippi in the 4 o'clock hour, which will get started right when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi live in Corinth, Mississippi. We'll be back in just a minute.
A lot about living and a little about love. A lot about living and a little about love.
Your home. It's time for more Sports Talk Mississippi.
Finally.
On SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk app, and at supertalk.fm.
Sports Talk Mississippi is live. We're in Corinth, Mississippi at the annual Slug Burger Festival. Everybody's having a good time right now. They're getting everything set up for this evening. We got, as you can see behind me, we got rides, we got attractions, we got food. Of course, we got slug burgers. But tomorrow morning, we might have to mow the grass. Now, I know it's raining right now. That might interfere with us. But regardless of that, the grass must be mowed. We must continue to fight the battle against the weeds in our yard. And Ag Up is here to help you do exactly that. Doesn't matter how big a yard we're talking about here. We're talking about just a normal old, you got your normal yard out there, your front yard and your backyard. Or if you got one of those Richard Cross-sized tracts of land, does not matter what kind of size property we're talking about. Ag Up has the equipment and the machine for you, your property, and your budget. There's 15 Ag Up locations throughout the state of Mississippi. That means there's one nearby to you. Visit them today or agup.com. Ag Up equipment and John Deere, built for what's next. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi right now? We're going to 100 teams in 100 days.
This day is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. This day is bananas.
100 teams in 100 days.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Team number 50 on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. We take you to the house that WKRP built, the Cincinnati Bearcats. You know, it's not how I remember it. Like, baby, if you ever wonder whatever became of me, I blew it on the air. I don't know. The Cincinnati Bearcats. What a season they had last year. They started off the year a tough loss, opening night to the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
You're our Lonnie Anderson, so I just wanted to put that out to you, okay?
I am. She's just a little more voluptuous than I am. Just a little more. We both got curves. Mine are in the wrong places, though. What does that make you? Are you like Gordon Jump?
I'm
No, I can see you. I can absolutely see you being like, with God as my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
I dress like Herb Tarlett, though, so.
Cincinnati started off the year with a 20-17 loss to Nebraska, but from there, they won their next 7 games in a row, beating Kansas, Iowa State, Central Florida, Oklahoma State, Baylor. And you're thinking, wow, they're a real threat in the Big 12. They got a chance to maybe make the college football playoff. But then they lose their final 5 games of the season to Utah, Arizona, BYU, TCU, and then they just get absolutely handled by the men of the United States Naval Academy in the Liberty Bowl. Final score 35-13. So from 7-1, it's 7-6 for Scott Satterfield, a coach who is very much on the hot seat at this point, has just not gotten it going at Cincinnati. This year, the Bearcats, they start things off with Boston College. Cincinnati versus Boston. I remember the 1976 World Series like it was yesterday. 75. Then Western Carolina, the Catamounts. I'll save Borky the trouble of asking me guess that mascot. They're the Catamounts. Miami of Ohio, and then it's in the Big 12 play. Kansas State comes to Cincinnati to Nippert Stadium. You got to be sure how you say that, by the way. Nippert. You got to really.
Nipply and Nippert today.
Nippert. It's cold here today. By the way, this is one of those things. Every time I'm like, do I wear pants? Do I wear shorts? I never know what to wear at these remotes. And I knew we were going to be outside, so I'm wearing shorts. It's actually chilly. I can't win. Speaking of chili, Cincinnati chili, gross.
Oh.
Gross. It's like a chocolate sauce with meat. Nobody wants that. Cincinnati's first Big 12 road game, October 3rd at Arizona, then at West Virginia. They'll bring Texas Tech up there on October 24th for the Brendan Sorsby Bowl. The action on that game is going to be hot and heavy. Lot of talk in Vegas about that game. I guarantee it. They'll host Utah the next week on Halloween. Then they'll travel to Houston and then to Iowa State. They'll wrap up the year hosting Colorado and then a trip to BYU on November 28th for the Bearcats. Cincinnati, team number 50, one of those teams that, if I'm flipping through games and I just see Cincinnati at West Virginia, yeah, sure. Maybe I'll tune in for a minute. But they are a boring team. Like every year, Cincinnati's just not an exciting football team. They don't have a lot of since they had that one year where they went to the college football playoff with Luke Fickell was there. I forget who that quarterback was. He played for the Falcons for a little while. I can't remember his name. But Cincinnati is just one of the most boring teams year in, year out. No offense to the Bearcats. I'm sure they're lovely. The fans are lovely people. I've been to Cincinnati once, but
it's a beautiful town. But it's a lot of 28 to 23 games.
Yeah, yeah. Cincinnati is maybe the northernmost southern city. Like, it's in Ohio. It's on the border of Kentucky. I've been to some bars there that would fit in really good here in Corinth. I'll just put it that way.
Ohio is
some
very
dive
country.
bars. Yeah, you go out in the backwoods of Cincinnati, and you're still in the South.
Yeah,
very, very much so. All right, where are we going to go dine while we're in Cincinnati? Thank God it's not Skyline Chili. If that had been number one, I would have just said we're not eating. Kids will get McDonald's on the way out. We'll stop at Culver's. That's a great northern restaurant. Nope, we're going to Rosie's Italian. This place, here's what I like about Rosie's Italian. They have 5 appetizers on the menu. I would order all 5. There's not one appetizer where I'm like, no. All right, they got burrata. I like that. They got meatballs, prime beef meatballs. Sure. They got the arancini. I like those. They got fried lasagna bites. You have my attention. And they got ricotta toast. Toast with ricotta. And you know what? I think it's called jua. You know what it is? It's like a spreadable sausage. It's really good. I've had it. I mean, all those things sound great. And then they've got pizza, stromboli. They got a great selection of pastas. They do all the old school stuff with the chicken parm and the eggplant parm. And then their one dessert they have on the menu, which I'm only seeing one dessert. Surely they have more than one. I don't care. If it's only one dessert, this is a good one. It's a cannoli cookie.
Oh.
A chocolate chip cookie with cannoli cream in the middle. It's like a big skillet cookie, but stuffed with cannoli cream.
Okay.
I mean, you got my attention here, Rosie's. This looks like a great place to go eat.
Leave the skillet, take the cannoli.
Yeah. No, the cookie's in the skillet. Don't take the skillet.
How's the gabagool?
I'm not seeing gabagool on the menu.
Is the gravy
which
good
does
today?
hurt it. I feel like the gravy is going to be good there. They also have pizza too. They got a good selection of pizza pies. They got that hot honey pizza. I haven't gotten on board with that. Like the pepperoni pizza with the hot honey on it. Have you tried that?
No, but hot honey's okay in some instances. I don't know about pizza.
It's become like a plague on society. When we had, I forget who it was. I think it may have been when we had Derek Emerson on the other day. He talked about hot honey. It's like it's just on everything now.
Yeah,
like you can't. You're putting it on chicken, on pizza. I don't need hot honey on everything. So. I like Italian food, though, so I would absolutely do that. Speaking of which, by the way, just letting you guys know, in the 5 o'clock hour, our top 5. I decided just to have a little fun today. We haven't done a Food Friday in quite some time. So, we're about to get a train? Or is somebody just on the horn? That's got to be a train. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway,
are there
Will
any
and I are going to relate.
About? I mean, that's how you know there's a train.
Just me. Will and I are going to give you, and we want you to hear from you on the C Spire text line, our top 5 dining experiences ever. I mean, just restaurants where we went to and we were just blown away. Will sent me a picture of one of his, and I don't know. I assume that was in Greece, where I know you travel very often. And just judging by the size of the man out in front of that restaurant,
the priest.
Oh, okay.
Don't
now
say
you know the
anything
food's
bad.
good. Look, I'm just saying, if there's a fat priest in front of your restaurant, the food's good there. All right? I don't make the rules.
Fat priest approved.
Yeah, like if you go eat and you look and like coming out the front door is a couple of Catholic or Orthodox priests and they're all pushing 3 bills, go eat in that restaurant.
Yeah.
You're going to have a good time. I'm almost certain I can guarantee that. All right, when we come back, we're going to go to the Farm Bureau guest line, and Bill Bender from the Sporting News is going to join us. We'll talk some Big Ten football, among other things as well. All guests, when they appear on the show, appear on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. We're live here at Corinth at the annual Slug Burger Festival, and we'll be back in just a minute. Sports Talk Mississippi on a Friday with you. I may eat a burger. You never know.
Mississippi, your all-access pass to all things sports in Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Back on Sports Talk Mississippi, Brian Haydad here live in Corinth at the Slug Burger Festival. We go down to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with home team. Our friend Bill Bender from the Sporting News joins us. Bill, real easy first question. Have you ever had a slug burger? Do you know what a slug burger is?
I'm intrigued. Yeah, tell me more, man. I wish I was down there for the festival.
It's a good time. Let's just say that it's a good thing to eat, but your cardiologist won't be too happy if you eat more than 2. We'll just leave it at that.
That sounds about right. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me on.
Man, great to have you on, Bill. I appreciate you. I looked at your Twitter earlier today. A man after my own heart. Let's just go ahead and put out a full college football playoff prediction bracket, and let's just jump into this bracket here. You're going for the repeat. You think the Indiana Hoosiers, that's what you've got written down anyway, can repeat and be national champions again. Why do you think that, and what could keep them from that?
Well, I think they got a lot coming back, on top of, working the transfer portal. And obviously Kurt Signetti's you keep hearing the phrase, has the code, so to speak, right? Like the cheat code, college football right now, and he continues to win games. And I think as that continues, they are the team to beat in a lot of ways. How many years, when a team wins a national championship, typically they're number one coming into the next year. Now, that said, there are several teams. You could take it all the way down through the teams we have in the quarterfinals that I think are every bit as capable of winning a national championship.
One team that's missing from this bracket that I think a lot of people would have had in a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago before all the news broke, is Texas Tech. Obviously Sorsby out for the season. Is that the number one determiner for you for not putting the Red Raiders in? You've got BYU as the Big 12 champion, it looks like.
Well, yeah, obviously Texas Tech, we had as our pick to win the Big 12 title with Sorsby. And, how much does the quarterback matter? We're about to find out. Maybe Will Hammond steps in and is that guy for Texas Tech. I think BYU obviously is one of those teams we like a lot, too. There was a lot coming out. It was crazy that Big 12 Media Day was this week, and you heard the comments from your Mark and Texas Tech and BYU. I think that league has parity, has good teams in the fourth quarter, and we'll see how it shakes out. But, yeah, I can confess that in our yearbook process and in this projections process, not having Brendan Sorsby had a tremendous amount of weight on that pick.
And yet, at the same time, in the Big 12, I always feel like that's such a crapshoot conference. Anything could happen. Anybody could roll the dice and win it. That Texas Tech team is still loaded with talent. They're still going to be a force in that conference.
I agree. They have David Holmes coming back, the preseason defensive player of the year. They've got enough of the portal, and they've got a lot invested in that roster that you got to think they're still going to be a good football team. So, and by the way, do not play BYU or Utah. So I think they could have their shot. One game I was looking forward to, regardless of Sorsby or not, is that Week 3 game against Houston. It's a Friday night game on Fox. It's hard not to fast forward to the season a little bit. But I know sitting there, a lot of people are going to be tuned in one way or the other. And what a boon that it's going to be for the Big 12 to have everybody watching that game.
You have two teams that interest me. One's in this playoff prediction, and one is not. I'll start with the one that is, and that's Southern Cal. Lincoln Riley, this really does feel kind of like a crossroads year for him. It just hasn't gone as well, gone according to plan for him in Los Angeles as maybe you would have thought. What do you like about the Trojans this year?
Well, one of the things that is hard about doing this is when you fill out the bracket, you got your Big 12 champ, your ACC champ, your Group of 6 team. By the way, it's weird to say Pac-12 champion Boise State. And then Notre Dame. So you have 8 spots left, and you figure if there's going to be 8 left, probably 4 SEC, 4 Big 10. So figuring out who those teams are, the 4 from each. And I get it with USC. I think those first 3 Big 10 teams, Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State, all have been in the playoff each of the last 2 years, all return strong rosters. So it's trying to pinpoint that 4th Big 10 team. USC does have a tough schedule, by the way. They play all 3 of those teams. So they're going to have to steal 1 to get to 10. But this is maybe a little bit of faith in that defense around Gary Patterson, the new defensive coordinator.
The team that's not there is Alabama. You don't have the Crimson Tide in the field of 12. That would be 2 out of 3 years for Kalen DeBoer since he took over for Nick Saban that he's not in the college football playoff. What would that mean for him? Obviously, they gave him an extension earlier this year, kind of unforced. What do you think about Alabama? Why are they not in this field of 12?
Well, I think when you break down the SEC, and we'll see here at SEC Media Day here in Tampa in a few weeks, but it's pretty consensus that I think most people are going to pick Georgia and Texas to finish those top 2 spots. So where do you go with the next 2? You could go, I like Ole Miss because I like the quarterback. I like Trinidad Chambliss a lot. He's our top-ranked quarterback at Sporting News coming into the year. I like Oklahoma, too. Then you get into that clump of teams that's like LSU, Texas A&M, Alabama, all ranked in our top 15 in our preseason top 25 poll. But is that enough to get in the playoff? And that's the thing. The SEC has half of its league, maybe even more, if you consider Vanderbilt and Tennessee that. More than half of its league is playoff caliber. But some teams are going to have to lose some games. So Alabama will be right on the fringe of that. They do have a friendly schedule, And you ask what it would mean. I mean, I think it'll mean he gets fired, but the heat would turn up, which is unfair because of who he followed.
I'm not sure if you could hear that. That was the Alabama hype train running through the middle of Corinth here. That was what that noise was, Bill. You have Ole Miss in the playoff. You have them as the 8th seed, so they would host a college football playoff game for the second season in a row if this were to hold true. You have them losing in the quarterfinals to the eventual national champion by your prediction, the Indiana Hoosiers. I guess that would probably be in the Rose Bowl or something like that. I'm sure Ole Miss fans would be more than thrilled in year one to be back in the playoff with Pete Golding. Is he the biggest X factor for you in this whole thing? I feel like it's either he's going to just pick up where Lane Kiffin left off, or we're going to find out that something bad about him. I don't feel like we can learn that much positive about Pete Golding in year one. What do you think?
I think we're going to find out. They do have a talented roster back with several guys that are in our top 50 on our NFL draft board for next year. Whether it's Perkins or Kewan Lacey, Trinidad Chambliss, Eccles. They've got good pieces. And I think what we learned about Pete Golding is he did well on the fly last year. They were hot, man. They were one drive away. So it does make it an transition. So you asked how it might work, and I've seen it every different way. You go Ohio State. Does it go like Urban Meyer to Ryan Day? Or does it go Michigan like Jim Harbaugh to Sharon Moore? When you don't open up the search, it could go either way. I think it's somewhere in between. And I like this Ole Miss football team around him. And it starts with Trinidad. I really believe I was in the minority with this, but I thought if he would have came out in the NFL draft last year, he might have been a first-round pick. I don't care about his height. I think he can play.
You've got, 4 SEC teams in this playoff that you set up. Georgia as the SEC champion, the Texas Longhorns, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. You left out Alabama. You left out LSU. LSU is another one, though, that, preseason expectations for them are going to be in this playoff. What do you think year one looks like for Lane Kiffin down there?
A lot of TV, a lot of security guards for the Ole Miss game, I suppose, what's the over-under on that? 4.5? But I'm excited to and as you know, I live in Big Ten country, but if there was one game I circle in September, it's that Ole Miss LSU game. They're a wild card to me in terms of the playoff race because he can coach. He's good with quarterbacks. I think Sam Levitt, if he's healthy, is going to be good. They work the portal well. But the expectations are different there, right? He's going to be held to making at least the semifinals. And keep this in mind. It's a weird stat, but it's a true stat. LSU's only been to the playoffs one time. Now, granted, that one time was unbelievable and one of the best teams ever. But, he's going to face that every year. So, year one, I could see them going like 9-3, something like that, getting in the playoff race. But these high visibility games against Ole Miss, Tennessee, LSU, or Alabama, we'll see how he handles that. And they've got probably one of the better games of week one.
Yeah. Yeah, with the Clemson Tigers coming into town. Coming to Death Valley for the Battle of Death Valley between those two schools. About 60 seconds left, Bill. You've got Boise State, as you mentioned, as your group of 16. Who's another team or two that could get that spot?
I'd keep an eye on UNLV with Dan Mullen, which is, he's done a great job there. I'd keep an eye on North Dakota State at Mountain West Conference, making the bump up from the FCS, and I think they could be very good. But I mentioned Boise State. One thing you're going to have to do if you're a college football fan is look at the Mountain West Conference, look at the Pac-12, and some teams shuffled around, as you know, and then get in. Those are the kind of the three that I'm keeping an eye on. Even in the MAC, which I'm an Ohio alum, we have Sacramento State in the MAC now, which is just part of this bizarro, beautiful world of college football we live in.
Bill, just nothing better than 10 minutes of straight college football talk in the middle of June. I'll take it any day I can get it. Bill Bender, the Sporting News, my friend, thanks so much for your time today.
Hey, anytime. Thanks for having me on. Enjoy the festival. Talk to you soon.
Bill joins us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. When we come back, we've got another team for the 100 Teams in 100 Days countdown. We're going up back to the Big Ten. We're going to Bill Bender country. We'll do that when we come back. SportsTalk Mississippi, live at the Slugburger Festival in Corinth.
From the opening in Mississippi sports, you'll hear about it first, right here. Sports Talk Mississippi.
We are back on Sports Talk Mississippi. We are back live here in Corinth at the annual Slug Burger Festival. Will, I got the kind of news I know you like, all right? Because I know you're a man. You've traveled to Europe many times. So Mississippi State just announcing that they have added a new player to the 2026-27 men's basketball roster. This has been something that, if you've been keeping up, it's been in the works, and they're just going through some eligibility. They've added Bulgarian forward Kostas Kostadinov, who I will only refer to as Kostas Kostadinov at all times. I will break out the Teddy KJB voice to refer to him. Former Euro, played professionally. State's jumping in, that's fine. If everybody else is doing it, you got to be doing it as well. But he is currently on campus. So State put out a graphic like 30 minutes ago that had everybody's jersey number on it, and I saw his name on there, and I was like, that's the first thing I've seen official with Kostadinov's name on it. And it just got released that he is it's a done deal. He's on campus and will be part. That's a big piece for Mississippi State basketball. They needed a guy like him. We'll see if he can make an impact for the Bulldogs. All right, let's get back into the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. The Northwestern Wildcats. It's the house that Chris Collins built in Evanston, Illinois. I'm glad it was Evanston, by the way, because trying to do Chicago's best restaurant, we might have been here a little while on that one. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Team number 49 is the Northwestern Wildcats. David Braun, the head coach of the Wildcats, obviously was the interim after the Pat Fitzgerald saga, which is an all-time egg-on-your-face moment for the who am I talking about? The Wildcats there, where, oh yeah, we fired him because he was doing all this terrible stuff, and then they find out he's not doing any of that terrible stuff. Yeah. So, and I guess it just happens. Last year, Northwestern 7-6, kind of sort of a similar season to what we were just talking about with Cincinnati. They start off, they lose to Tulane. That was actually a really big win for Tulane. It's part of the reason they got in the playoff is they had a couple of those wins over Power 4 teams. Then they beat Western Illinois. They lose a game to Oregon, but then they bounce back with 4 straight wins. They beat UCLA, ULM, Penn State. That was the first real sign for Penn State that it was not what they wanted it to be. And then they shut out Purdue, and you're like, all right, Northwestern, they're off and running. But then lost to Nebraska, to Southern Cal, to Michigan. They do beat Minnesota. They lose to Illinois in their annual rivalry game. They did finish the year with a good game. They beat Central Michigan's 34-7 in the game above Sports Bowl.
By the way, when you look at their record for 2025, I love seeing the attendance for the games because they're undergoing all this construction. So it's 12.
Yeah, they're playing at a soccer field. Yeah.
Week 4. In October 4th, they played against Louisiana Monroe at home. They played in front of 12,000 people. On October 11th, they played at Penn State. They played in front of 108,000 people.
It happens.
A little bit of a difference there.
Yeah, they're finally. I'm not sure if their new stadium, if this is the year they have a state of the art facility, a lot better probably than Northwestern really needs for football, but so be it for them. I think that stadium opens this year. They open the year with South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, coming to Evanston. Then Colorado, so they go from Jackrabbits to Buffalo. A lot of plains happening there. Big game on September 25th. I don't know. If you ask me to total up what I killed more in Red Dead Redemption 2, Jackrabbits or Buffalo, I'm not sure what the answer would be. The Indiana Hoosiers, the reigning national champions, on September 25th. Then Penn State comes to Northwestern on October 2nd. Final non-conference game of the year, they'll take on Ball State on October 10th. Then a trip to Michigan State, and their former head coach, Pat Fitzgerald, is at East Lansing now. That'll be a fascinating game. I'm glad that's on the schedule. Rutgers makes the trip to Northwestern on October 24th. Then, out to the West Coast on Halloween to play Oregon. Iowa comes to Northwestern on November 7th. Then Ohio State. Goodness gracious, that's a tough one for Northwestern to have to play the top 3 teams in the Big Ten in the same year. They have to play Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana. They finish the season with a trip to Minnesota, and then they'll host Illinois on November the 28th. That's the Northwestern Wildcats. So again, I decided to go to Evanston and not Chicago. All right, because Chicago, goodness gracious, man, we'd be here all day. We're going to. This sounds like something our wives would call us. Okay. Would your wife say he's my little peckish pig? I don't know, but that's what the name of this place is. The Peckish Pig. Right. It looks like it's like a gastropubby kind of thing, right? They got some of the fancy stuff. They got, first off, any place that's got a charcuterie board, I'll probably be okay, right? I like the cured meats, the gabagool, the salami, the mortadelle. Right. Then they have, some on bread, which is a fancy way to say sandwiches. They have burgers, lamb burger.
It's on bread.
Yeah, on bread. Lamb burger sounds pretty good. Goat cheese, lime, mango, mayo, and cumin fries. Okay, got my attention. Then they got they got a little Greek thing. Every time I see, you know what a meze is?
Yeah,
you know what that is. They got one of those. Me and JT tried to eat the meze one time, and that went really badly for us.
I came across that picture a little bit ago.
Oh, it's such a great picture.
It's a great picture
of me and him. We're just like, we'll get the sampler.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we sample everything and lots of it.
Here's everything on the menu. Try eating that. It was really good. Really good. The food here looks pretty. Short rib mac and cheese. Okay, got my attention. And do we have a dessert menu here? Yeah, we do. They got a lot of desserts here. They got sticky toffee pudding, which is an elite. That's an S-tier dessert. If you've never had a sticky toffee pudding, you're missing out. They got chocolate mousse. They have seasonal fresh fruit. Why? I don't want to eat fruit at a restaurant.
Who's ordering
what are we doing here? If I went to a dinner with you, if I was on a date and my date ordered the seasonal fresh fruit, I say, let's get some dessert. Yeah, let's get the seasonal fresh fruit. Check, please.
Yeah,
I'm out.
You can give it to her because I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Just make it happen. Salted caramel gelato does sound pretty good as well. So, do they have we got some cocktails to choose from? Cocktails and wine. I thought this was more of a beer place, but it's apparently not. They got some beers on tap though. They only got the one seltzer, which is good. I don't like seltzers. A lot of wine, a lot of cocktails. This looks like a good place. So, if you're ever in Evanston, Illinois, you decide, we don't want to go into Chicago tonight. We're going to stay over here in Evanston. Go check out the Peckish Pig and tell them that Hey Dad and Willie sent you.
Also, while you're in Evanston, you know what else you can visit?
What?
You can visit a mountain. They have a mountain in Evanston.
How do they have a mountain?
They made one.
What do you mean they have a mountain?
They made one out of trash. It's called Mount Trashmore, and it is the largest landfill restoration mountain in the world, is what this says. It's
entirely constructed
of trash.
Entirely constructed of Richard Cross's takes. It's all garbage.
They ski off of it. That's how tall it is. You can ski on a mountain of trash.
Wow. All right. A mountain. Why would you? Hold on. You caught my attention here.
It's mountain.
How do you ski on trash?
Well, it has dirt.
It's slick.
And then it snows.
Well, I'm sure that it does snow in Illinois every now and then, but I can't imagine, honey, we're going to one of the most fabulous ski resorts you've ever been to.
I'll connect it
Aspen? Vail?
No.
Stad? No! Evanston, Illinois. We're going to climb Mount Garbage.
Mount Trashmore, and I'll connect it back to football, college football.
Is it actually called Mount Trashmore?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
In the summer of 1995, Northwestern University strength and strength and conditioning coach, can't pronounce his name, planted a small Rose Bowl flag at the top of Mount Trashmore and had the Wildcats repeatedly run up and down the mountain. They went on to play in the 1996 Rose Bowl. There you go.
It's all about positive visualization. All right? See the goal, be the goal. All right?
See the trash, conquer the trash.
Right. I mean, it tells it. I need to see a picture of Mount Trashmore. How high is it?
65 feet straight up.
All right, we're really pushing, calling that a mountain.
It's a large hill, I think.
At best, it's a hill. On its best day, it's a hill.
It's a gentle slope. I'm looking at a picture of it now.
I think
a rolling hill.
I think we're going a little far calling this a mountain. All right, when we come back, we'll be joined by Angela Avent. She is one of the great people here in Corinth and is going to talk to us about this festival and all the cool stuff going on. We'll do that when we come back. Enjoying ourselves here in Corinth at the Slugburger Festival. Sports Talk Mississippi. Back in just a minute.
From the Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Back here on Sports Talk Mississippi, Brian Haydad, live with you here in Corinth at the annual Slug Burger Festival. I'm joined now by Angela Avent. She is the director of the Main Street here in Corinth. I love meeting with the Main Street people across the state of Mississippi because I love Mississippi, and there's just no better ambassador for our state than people like you and people who do the job that you do. So before we even meet, I like you.
Well, that's great. That's a good thing.
Yeah, well, we'll just get started off on a good foot there.
Main Street people are great people. They are.
They certainly are. So tell me about the Slug Burger Festival. What's your favorite part of it? If you say the Slug Burgers, you can do that, but...
Have you tried one?
I have.
Okay, there you go.
I thought it was good.
They are good, and I love people that haven't had them before. I love to hear their
like to hear that first story.
Yes, but I love all things about the festival. I love celebrating the famous burger. I love all the people coming to town. Love all the locals coming out and seeing all the new things that we've got downtown, and for the visitors to come and see how beautiful our town is.
Who do you think enjoys the festival more, the locals or the visitors?
Well, both. Yeah. I think the visitors get a big kick out of it if it's their first time, because I had people calling me today, for instance, from Oxford, and they were like, I got to tell them the whole thing, got to tell them all what it's about, everything. But, everybody wants the history of the burger.
Yeah, and it's such a fun story, and it's just, as I described with the mayor, it's a very Mississippi thing.
It is.
And that's part of the reason that I like it so much. What is the impact of this festival on the town of Corinth?
It's a huge impact. Last year we had around 7,000 people that came to enjoy, and we've grown the festival. This is my 9th festival.
Okay.
So we've changed some things up over the last few years, and this is our 39th. Next year, obviously, 40th. We're going to blow it out even bigger and better. But we've incorporated some day things. That's where we were lacking. So, tomorrow there'll be the car show, and there's a pageant, and just some things like that. But, we're going to grow our entertainment next year. And, want everybody to come out and celebrate the 40th.
It's one of those things, though, that you don't have to just want to eat a slug burger to show up. There's something for everybody.
No, there is something for everybody. The carnival's great for the kids, great for the parents to see the kids enjoying it. Got the music, got great food, got those good slug burgers, and do celebrate our town. Come and look and see what all we have to offer.
What is it about North Mississippi that I feel like we have these festivals just all over the north half, and really even the northern third of the state. What is it about this area of the country that we just have all these great local festivals?
Well, it's funny, we were at a meeting the other day and we discussed this. We're like, the coast has what the coast has.
Right.
But everybody up here, we got to put the dog on for people to come and come this way, because it's a little colder up here in the winter. But it's just the Northeast is just a great area of the state that I do feel like you got to have something for people to come here to see, because we we have the lakes and all that, but we don't have some of the things that the South has, and so it's just a good draw. And so we put on some good festivals up here.
We absolutely do, and this is at the very top, in my opinion, of all of them.
Well, thank you.
Well, I mean, it's a festival based around food.
It is.
So you've already got me hooked
It's a win.
on. I'm already in for that, and whatever else happens can just happen. So 39 years. You mentioned next year's going to be the 40th. Without giving away too much, what are you got anything already on the back burner there, just waiting to be brought up front?
Well, believe it or not, we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, but today we met with a guy on the entertainment. That's going to be our biggest thing, is we're going to have somebody to really blow it out next year, and maybe looking at doing like a progressive type entertainment thing for next year. And so it's in the planning stages.
Wait, we don't want to go wait. We call that a tease in the business.
That's right.
What is it about Main Street Corinth and the work that you guys do? Because it's not just this festival, right? There's stuff happening all the time. What else is going on with Main Street Corinth?
Well, we have the last couple of years, last 5 years actually, we have been working hard on our holiday season here. We have a big holiday display and lots of things going on, and that's another thing. Coming to the north for the holidays. It's coming up here and seeing what all we have to do. We do Celebrate Corinth in November. We have Downtown Throwdown in March. And, everything we do to raise our money benefits the downtown, makes it, aesthetically pleasing for people and helps our merchants and restaurants.
All right. We only got about a couple minutes left. What is your personal record for slug burgers eaten?
2.
2? So the mayor wouldn't give me his real number. He said he stops at 2 nowadays. I got the feeling he was in the double digits.
Oh, man.
Like as an all-timer. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, so. He's got me beat. I'm a 2.
Because this is a festival where you got to be around and talking to people. If you ate more than 3, you'd be like, I got to go home.
Yeah, I'm about a half. I'm a half one now.
I'm going to take a nap and
That's right.
Come back and let me know how it went.
That's right. That's right.
Angela, this has been a pleasure. I always enjoy coming up here to Corinth. That's our second year up here. I wish Borky were here with me.
Yeah.
We'd make him drink some more of those weird sodas.
I remember that.
We had a lot of fun with that. I told him, I'm the MC of that event. I'm too old for that kind of stuff.
Well,
thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Angela Avent, she is the director of Main Street Columbus here in the Corinth. Did I say Columbus? I'm from the Golden Triangle.
That's okay.
I'm not the smartest guy.
That's okay.
So Main Street Corinth up here, 39th Annual Slug Burger Festival. It's going to be a fantastic week. All right, when we come back here on Sports Talk Mississippi, those of you who listen to the show a lot, you know that video games are very near and dear to my heart. The EA college football video game, it's already been ruined. It's already been screwed up. So I'm going to rant about that when we come back. Then in the 5 o'clock hour, Will East and I, our top 5 dining experiences ever. It's a Food Friday here on Sports Talk Mississippi, live in Corinth, at the Slug Burger Festival. Back in just a minute.
Best sports talk in the state.
It's the best thing.
Say that again.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Let's go that. Let's do this. It is Sports Talk Mississippi. We are live in Corinth at the annual Slug Burger Festival. I was hoping to do the last hour of the show from the Tilt-A-Whirl back here, but apparently we couldn't make that happen. Couldn't make it happen. He said something about wires would go every which way but loose. I don't know. Feels like excuses to me, if we're being honest. I'm Brian Hadad. Will East is in Studio X. Let's jump in right now. It's the College Football Fix. All right, we're back. The College Football Fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough. That's the best-selling truck in America. The Ford F-150. Don't waste any of your valuable time. If you're looking for a new truck, go this weekend. Go today to your local Mississippi Ford dealers. Thank you for your attention to this matter. 2 years ago, I was like a little kid at a candy store when they announced that EA College Football was returning to platforms. If you recall, I actually took time off from work to play this game. I got home from SEC Media Days, drove directly to GameStop, got in line, had to wait for like an hour, got my game, went home, and played the rest of the weekend. In typical fashion of literally everything these days, the game has already been ruined. This article from Brent Cupp of Vice.com. EA responds to College Football 27 microtransactions backlash. If you're not a gamer, what a microtransaction is you can spend real money to purchase upgrades in the game. So let's say you were playing a game where you're, like a soldier. You can pay real money to buy a bigger gun for the game. If you are playing a game where you're a racer, you can pay real money to upgrade your car. And this has always been a part of sporting games, right? It's been a big deal. If you play online, their microtransactions have always been a part of that. I haven't ever had an issue with that. I don't play online. I play my Dynasty on my system. I'm not interested in playing other people as much. Somebody wants to come over to the house and pull up the sticks? Sure, I'm in. But I'm not playing online like a lot of these people are. But what EA has done is they have added microtransactions to offline play. And it started with a sports YouTuber who goes by the name of Bordeaux, which I'm sure is a fine vintage. EA sent a letter to all of its content creators, people who have relationships with EA, and basically said that yes, we have changed the game in such a way that even if you're playing offline, if you want to get the game completed, you have to pay. This is, I don't think I can say the word it is, but there's a B and there's an S in there. If I pay $70, $80 for a game, and you're going to tell me that I have to continue to pay to play this game, even when I'm not playing online, I'm just playing the game in the comfort of my own home, and I'm just playing against the computer, and I got to continue to pay money, that's not acceptable. And it has created a huge outroar among college football video game fans. Going even further, apparently the developers of the game were also, and I'm quoting again from the article, livid over the new microtransactions. If the report is accurate, those working on the game were unhappy with the monetization options months ago and expected the player backlash. For even the player response that has happened was expected, and there was a worry from at least those some of those who spoke that it would be the loudest it's ever been. The developers who spoke with the outlet had to remain anonymous, and I can certainly understand why that is. This is just outrageous. All right. Now, we had the other day, there's been this talk from PlayStation. I don't know if you saw this, Will. You can buy movies on PlayStation Network, right?
Yeah.
You can buy a movie and own it. But then PlayStation lost their licenses to several movies. So what does that mean? It means that you, who bought a movie, you bought it. Remember those commercials? Like you wouldn't steal a car, don't steal a movie. Buy your movies. Okay, I bought the movie, but now you don't get to watch it anymore because they don't have the license for it any longer. So, and now you've also got PlayStation has announced they're getting away from physical discs. They're only going to have digital games from now on. So what does that mean? Well, what happens in 10 years where the NFL decides to revoke EA's license? They go, you know what? We've created our own game now. The NFL has its own football game now. EA no longer has the license for the NFL. Well, all the years I bought Madden, they just get deleted. You don't own that game anymore. And this is a real issue in the gaming community. And I'm not a member of the gaming community because, like I said, I just tend to play my games at home. But finding this one out, I didn't buy 26. I bought EA 25, enjoyed it. I think I've told that story here on the air, Will, where after about 8 years of my dynasty, I just decided to have a little fun, and I was going to kick Ole Miss out of the SEC. And so because you can change the conferences. And so I did it, and after about 2 minutes, I was like, no, this doesn't feel right. And so when I put them back in, I couldn't put them on the schedule And so I was like, I'm not going to play if I can't play the Egg Bowl at the end of the year. So I did stop that dynasty and I started over. I didn't buy a new one last year. I just didn't feel like it. I was going to buy it this year, but this is ridiculous. I'm not going to buy now. They've lost my business on this one. Because the idea that, again, if I was going to play online, I understand how that, because it's competitive, right? You have people who play in leagues. There's prizes available. I understand if you want to put some money into it. But if I'm just going to own the game to play for myself, I can't imagine I'm going to want to. I just want to picture that conversation with my wife either. Like, hey, honey, she goes to me, Brian, what is this $5 or $10 charge to EA Sports? Yeah. I wanted to make Jeff Levy's career fast track a little faster, so I had to pay to do that. That Monday show, the next Monday, Sports Talk Mississippi, would start with somber music. Like, we have to tell you that Brian is no longer with us. His wife stabbed him in the eye after finding out. Yeah, be like with Richie April. I'm just like, don't do this, Santa. Boom! What happened? So we got somebody on the text line here.
It's not, it's not like $100. It's like $3, $4, but it adds up.
It adds up, and especially if you want to get the game completed. If you want to have your coach maxed out and your players maxed out, you're going to have to pay to do it. So Mose on the text line, thank you for your assessment. I've already quit bothering with the last version of EA College Football. I know to not even bother with the new version. This is going to be. I don't know if EA will walk it back because they have a monopoly. They're like, well, if you want to play this game, you got to kind of do what we want to tell you to do. But my goodness, this is maybe the bridge that this may be the straw that breaks the camel's back on this one. The backlash is real. It's very public. People are being very loud about it, and I just don't see how they're going to be able to do this. I don't see how they're going to be able to convince people to make this one happen, and that's a sad thing for me because I'm a big college. I love that college football game. I've always enjoyed playing it, but now I can't see myself making that purchase, and I was going to. It was in my plans to do. When we got back from media days, I was going to go buy it. And I had a little extra free time and kind of go from there, but not now. Not now. This is. Why is everything bad, right? Why is everything bad? Why can't we just have one thing where we're just like, hey, let's make this better for people? There's nothing is this way right now.
I don't know whether it's greed or what, but yeah, everything is
It's greed. No. I know that it is. It's greed. 100%. So, we do get one text in here, though. I would submit again that Will East bumper music is the best in the business. I love when Will's on a Friday because I know I'm going to get Welcome to the Jungle at 5 o'clock. Always makes me happy to get that. I haven't heard
that's
the
a microtransaction, by the way. I'm charging you $5 for that.
What's your Venmo?
Let's see. Hotboy at gmail.com.
Hotboy69 at hotmail.com. That's definitely not a Gmail. Gmail's a very professional. Brian Haydad, Will East. My old Hotmail was Big Daddy BMH. So, you just go with whatever you got to go with. Hotmail, there were no rules. There were no rules on that one. So it's. You know what microtransactions are? They're an alternative income generating plan.
All right, so
we figured it out.
I'm glad
LSU was going to microtransaction their fans.
I was going to ask you what you thought it might be. I came up with top 5, just in case this was the top 5 for today. Top 5 things that it is.
I want to hear them when we come back.
I'll share those with you.
We'll share those, and then we'll get into the actual top 5. Top 5 alternative income schemes, and then top 5. We're going to talk about food. Food Friday, top 5 dining experiences. Want to hear yours on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. Where'd you have the best meal of your life? Tell me when we come back here live at the Slug Burger Festival in Corinth.
Now we have a special surprise for everyone.
Give it to me. More Sports Talk Mississippi right now on Super Talk Mississippi.
got a lot to get through here on Sports Talk Mississippi. We almost forgot, but we did not. And that's all that matters. We got Creed tickets to give away. If you'd like to see Creed at the, we believe it's still the Cadence Bank Center. They may not have changed the name yet, but I'm sure it's coming. That's going to be Saturday, July 25th. I believe Mammoth and Hinder are the opening acts. Mammoth is Wolfgang Van Halen's band, so that's a cool one. Hinder, they've had some big hits. And, of course, I saw Creed in Brandon a few years ago on this tour, and they put on a fantastic show. We'll make it super easy for you guys. First texter to text the word HIGHER to the C-Spire text line, 601-879-4395. They're your tickets, and we'll get them in touch with you right now. It is the Huntington Bank Center now. Okay, I was making sure. I didn't know if they changed all the signage and everything yet. First person to text HIGHER, there it is. We've already got a winner. So I'll let that clear out for just a minute. Will, you've got something for us, a certain top five alternative income-generating plans.
All right, so this is LSU's alternative revenue-generating opportunities. They're presenting at the Governor's Mansion soon. I'll just give them to you real quick. Actually, it's 4, not 5. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
It's only 4.
Data center in the student section, obvious.
Why is water $15 a bottle?
Yeah. Tastes like electrolytes, too.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Selling audiobook of Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte as read by Coach O. I think that would be a moneymaker.
I wish you had picked a book I knew some words from. Like if you had gone with what is it? I forget. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah. Tale of Two Cities. There it is. There.
I just tweeted this out, by the way, in case you want to read it. Let's see. Okay. Number 3, personal yoga sessions with Lane Kiffin, but only open to blondes age 18 to 20. So I don't know if you're going to make a lot of money off of that.
You might. You never know.
And then finally, pony rides with Jeff Landry. I thought that would be fun. You know, who's not going to want to go to pony ride with Jeff Landry? So,
there you go.
He's a little guy, by the way.
Yeah, he absolutely is.
Yeah.
All right. So we got our winner. Congrats to Randall Feather. He is our winner. He lives in Tupelo, so he said it's perfect.
Perfect.
We'll get those emailed to you as quickly as we possibly can. All right. Today's top 5. We're bringing back Food Friday, but we're not doing any cooking. We're just doing the eating. Will East, our top 5 dining experiences. 5-star restaurants, hole in the wall, call it what you will. Where did you have the best meal of your life? Will, what's number 5?
Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not much of a foodie, as you probably know.
Yeah.
So mine are more about the moment, the experience. And we're going to go to Mobile, Alabama, where I had dinner with the ladies of the United Daughters of the Confederacy one afternoon. It was a very beautiful. What happened was my wife was a bridesmaid in a wedding, and so I had all day to myself in downtown Mobile. And so I started walking around, and I see all these blue-haired ladies gathering around, and they were all like dressed up in like these hoop skirts and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I walked up to them like, "Hey, what's going on, ladies?" And they're like, "Oh, we're about to have some delicious, all these things to have." And I was like, "Oh, well, can I come in?" They was like, "Well, I guess you can. Come on in, young man." And all these blue hair I was like the youngest person by 70 years. Okay. But we had tea. There was obviously no alcohol. There was none of that. But we had, delicious food. And it was a very memorable afternoon in Mobile, Alabama.
Do you remember the name of the restaurant?
No, it was like one of those catered type deals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colonel William Beauregard East, if you will, sir.
I wrote my mother afterwards. I said, "Dearest mother, I had the most delicious meal with the ladies of the United Daughters of the Confederacy."
Genteel ladies of... Very nice. Very nice. All right. My honorable mention was every trip I've ever made to Gus's Fried Chicken. That is the best fried chicken. I love to eat there. I will eat there a week from yesterday. When we go to the Palmer home, I duck up to South Haven and hit Gus's Fried Chicken. Love it. My number 5 is my second trip to Las Vegas. I ate at Strip Steak in the calm down in the Mandalay Bay. Fantastic steak, fantastic food. So, most restaurants, they give you the little free bread, right? Give you a basket of bread. Not at Strip Steak. They gave you a basket of duck fat fried French fries. That was that. They were complimentary.
Oh, complimentary duck fried.
Complimentary duck fat fried, 3 kinds. They had like a garlic parm, the regular, and like a Cajun. And they just put like this big thing with 3 things of French fries. They're like, these are fried in duck fat. There's a variety of dipping sauces. Enjoy. Like, we didn't order this. No, this is what they don't give bread. They give you duck fat French fries. So that's memorable. Great steak, great dessert. The dessert was anytime there's donuts, I can get like fancy donuts, I'm going to do that. They had the bag of donuts with the dippings. I couldn't resist. So that was my number 5. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is also in Alabama. It was in Birmingham. My buddies and I had gone to watch the BBVA Compass Bowl with Ole Miss. It was their first bowl game in quite a while, so we all went. But that game was after New Year's, and we had gone out partying in Pickwick and subsequently lost all of our debit cards. Left them at the bar, as you tend to do.
You got stories for these, all right?
Yeah, and so we go to the BBVA Compass Bowl. We have no money. You don't have we got like $8 to get back home, and they were handing out Buffalo Wild Wings free wings coupons.
Yeah,
we were snatching them up for people. We were like, "Are you going out? Are you going back home? You don't need this. It's only good for the ones in the Birmingham area." And so we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we had a smorgasbord with $0 in our pocket, and it was delicious. It was the most amazing meal. We had to drink water, by the way. We couldn't afford beer. So.
When I gave you this assignment, I couldn't have thought that you were going to be going to Buffalo Wild Wings, but here we are. That's good stuff. Feel free to send your favorite restaurant in, by the way, 601-879-4395. All right, my number 4. My first introduction to real Texas barbecue. I went to South by Southwest in 2015. I was part of this little startup. You may have heard of it. Let's not talk too much about it. And we went to John Mueller's Meats in Austin. Now, at the time, it couldn't have been any more simple, right? He had a trailer. He had a cooker. He had some tables. You ordered. They brought you the food. That was my first experience with a full Texas barbecue platter. Brisket, ribs, sausage, turkey, all the sides, mountain of white bread. It was unbelievable. Sauce if you wanted it, but you didn't have it. Also, it's one of those places where you order your beer before they just got a cooler full of beer sitting there. You just pull one out and they're like, "Hey, I got a beer," and all right, we'll charge you for that. Fantastic. They gave us some samples while we were waiting of the brisket, the burn ends, and everything. I have been searching for that moment, that high, ever since. Of getting back. Anytime I'm in the state of Texas, I'm going to stop at a barbecue place. John Mueller no longer with us as well. Passed away a few years back, but a true pioneer of Texas barbecue. That's my number 4. What's your number 3?
My number 3, we're not going to be in Alabama. We're going to go all the way to Patmos, Greece. It was my first time over there. It's where my wife's family is from, and so we're over there, and there's not a lot of people that speak English, of course.
Right,
I mean, you get around, but there's not a lot of it. So, and the further you get off the beaten path, the less likely you are to hear English, and you're certainly not going to find any Americans around because it's just so far. To give you an idea how far away it is, it's a 12-hour plane ride and then a 10-hour boat ride. You can't fly there; it's too small. It's a little island in the Aegean. Anyway, we're at this little restaurant called Aroma. I don't know what it's called in Greek, but it's called Aroma in English.
It's called Smell.
And I sent you a picture of it. It's this little cafe type deal, and there's these 2 guys talking in Greek and a priest who's dozing in and dozing out. Like he's awake, and then he goes back to sleep. Yeah. And while we're sitting there eating this delicious homemade meal, my wife is kind of translating what the guys are talking about. And what they're talking about is how beautiful the flowers are when the priest is awake. However, when he would drift off to go to sleep, they were talking about this woman who worked at the restaurant and how big her behind was. And so she was translating every time he would drift off to sleep, they would go back to talk. They would, they speak with their hands. And then as soon as he would wake up, they'd go back, "Oh, beautiful flowers. Just the flowers are just gorgeous over here."
That's out of a movie. That's fantastic. That's really, really good. Really, really good. All right, I'll give you my number 3, and then we'll get the top 2 for both of us. As I said, send in your favorite meal, wherever you've eaten the best meal of your life. 601-879-4395. And we will be happy to get them off. I'm just like, do you see the baklava on that woman? That's what just happened there. What an unbelievable conversation! That is really something. That could have absolutely been something out of a Netflix comedy series. All right, top 5 meals we've ever eaten. That's what we're doing here. We're at the Slug Burger Festival here in Corinth. Back in just a minute here on Sports Talk Mississippi.
From the Sports Talk Mississippi is back.
This is it.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Right now it's Food Talk Mississippi. Brian Haydad, Will East. I'm live here in Corinth at the Slug Burger Festival. Things are about to get really going here. The weather has turned for the better. We've got some sunshine out here, and this festival is about to get going. We're talking about our top 5 dining experiences, best meals we've ever had in our life. I'm up for number 3. We're going to my favorite restaurant in all of the great city of New Orleans, and that's high praise, right? New Orleans is maybe the best food city in the world. But if you and I are going to New Orleans and I can pick, Will, we're going to go to Giacomo's.
Oh, okay,
that is my favorite restaurant in that city, and I always get the same things. For appetizer, I'm getting a piece of the delicious, the famous, the infamous almost, shrimp and alligator cheesecake. And then for my main course, I'm going to get the panade rabbit with shrimp and tasso pasta. And then they have an unbelievable bread pudding for dessert. But you really can't go wrong. That menu is like an all-star game. Whatever you want to pick, it's going to be awesome. I've seen people get chicken, steaks, fish, whatever you want to get. It is, in my opinion, the number 1 restaurant in the city of New Orleans, and that's the highest praise I can give because there's not a lot of better places to eat in the world than in New Orleans.
All right, so that's your number 3.
It's my number 3. What's your 2?
All right, 2. I just texted you a picture of the menu of this one.
Oh, I'm excited.
So, again, more about the story than the actual food, although this food is amazing.
This menu, it's all Greek to me. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, we had the first time I'd gone to Patmos, again, it's a 10-hour boat ride. And they serve, you can get a bag of chips on this boat and a beer. That's it, though, okay? You're not getting a meal.
So you're hungry when you get there.
So I was hungry, and we got there at midnight.
Oh, gosh.
Get off the boat with our bags in our hands, and I'm about to pass out. I'm so hungry. And we go to my wife's family's little restaurant that they have right there by the water. It's called Sagittarius. It's a pizza restaurant. Tiny, small, very small. And we sit down,
pizza.
And so they're hugging and kissing, and I don't understand any of the language or any of that stuff. And they hand me a menu, and I'm just going, pizza, pepperoni, pizza. You can't really mess that up, right? Whatever.
Right.
And they put the menu in front of me, and I read 0 letters of this menu. A lot of squiggly lines. I can't understand it. But
looks like Fraternity Row.
But if you'll look at that, Brian Haydad, what I just sent you, there are 3 letters that I do recognize.
I noticed this. I was going to ask you about this.
I noticed the 3 letters BBQ.
Yeah.
And so that's what I selected. And I'm telling you, to this day, the best pizza I've ever had. Barbecue pizza is something is not very common, I don't think.
No.
It was unbelievably good, although I was very hungry, so maybe I'm a little biased.
But, that's a good story. Your stories are better than mine. I don't know if your meals are, but your stories are better than mine. So, all right, my number 2, we're going back to Las Vegas. For a long time, this was my number 1. It got knocked off a couple years ago, but Scarpetta in Las Vegas is a cosmopolitan. If you ever watch Food Network, you watch like Chopped or anything like that, you see Scott Conant, very famous. Weird that he's an Italian chef with a last name like Conant, but I guess his grandmother was Italian. That's the best Italian restaurant I've ever eaten in my life. Had first off, again, the free bread. Their free bread was like a calzone, like stuffed with meat and cheese. And at one point we were talking about, because it came with like a few other things, and we were talking about, man, that the calzone bread is by far the best bread that they're offering here. The waiter overheard us and brought us a full basket of just calzone bread. He's like, I heard you talking. It's like, my man, your money, your payment just went way up, let me tell you. Duck and foie gras ravioli. Unbelievable. And then I had like a shoulder of lamb, braised, vegetables. Yeah. And then dessert. I never had souffle before. I had a strawberry and rhubarb souffle. And I mean, when I tell you that I sat at that table, I ate the souffle, and I looked at my friends, I was like, it's real hard not to order another one. It was real hard to not say, I'm getting second dessert here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's in the Cosmopolitan. If you're ever in Vegas, absolutely check it out. Scarpetta is my number 2. What's your number 1?
My number 1 favorite meal actually happened earlier this year. It's a restaurant that you've been to before. Chrishell's.
That's a great restaurant, yeah.
Mr. Bob passed away late last year.
Did he pass away?
He passed away at the age of 70.
Oh, that sucks. What a character.
Yeah, he was a great person. And anybody in Central Mississippi who's ever been to Chrishell's, just to set it up for you, Chrishell's it's the closest you'll ever come to a time machine. It's like going
it really is.
into 1954 when you walk in there.
Mm-hmm.
The old jukebox, they have the little glasses. It's just, and everybody who comes in there, he would always treat you like family. I mean, whether he knew you or didn't, he was going to come over and sit. He would sit down with you and talk with you, even if he didn't know you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just amazing steaks and the best onion rings you've ever had, and the original home of the comeback sauce. If you've ever had comeback sauce, came from his place, okay? They created it, apparently. So anyway, after he passed away, they kept the restaurant open for about a month or two, and the last weekend that they were open, my wife and I went with some friends, and it was like a Tuesday. It was like a party, and it was just, the perfect, because all his food was always amazing. The perfect meal.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like a time machine. They had Sinatra on the jukebox, and just one of those moments that, you can't recreate it ever again, and everybody was just there celebrating Bob, and that's one that will stay with me.
All right, that's a good one. I'm sorry to hear that guy passed. I only got to meet him once. That one time you and I went to dinner there, but I mean, he made an impression, and the food was fantastic at that restaurant. It's a good choice. My number 1, I hate to say that it was a restaurant that Richard Cross suggested, but when we were at Media Days a few years ago, and I bet Borky and Houston would agree, and when we were in Atlanta, he took us to Kevin Rathbun Steak in Atlanta, and buddy, I was blown away by that restaurant. First off, the steak, as good as I've ever had, but the service, the experience, the thick-cut bacon. We had 2 of those. By the way, you may have seen this receipt.
I saw this expense report, so
your eyes may have bulged a little when you saw it. Just everything. The mashed potatoes, they have the famous Rathbun mashed potatoes, which are for every pound of potatoes, I think it's 2 pounds of butter. It's just ridiculous. It's almost like a soup. It's so good. Every morsel of food that I consumed at that dinner was memorable. And if you're ever in Atlanta, that is the restaurant I give my absolute highest recommendation to. If you're ever in Atlanta, go to Kevin Rathbun Steak. We had a great steak last year in Atlanta, but this place, in terms of the experience, every part of the meal, never better than Kevin Rathbun Steak in Atlanta. Let's go to the C Spire text line. We obviously got a lot of suggestions here. Sunday brunch at Commander's Palace. You probably can't go wrong with that. The famous Doe's Eat Place in Greenville. Tamales, salad, a huge porterhouse. Yep, you're right. Louisiana Lagniappe. By the way, are you pretty excited that I knew how to pronounce that word?
Yeah, I am.
There you go. I know a little thing. Tornadoes of beef topped with jumbo lump crab, twice baked potato. Hold on, this can't be right what he's saying here. Bacon wrap bacon. I hope that's true. I hope they wrapped bacon in bacon, because that's just unbelievable. Take it. Somebody said their mama's cooking. I mean, you can't beat mama's cooking. Have y'all had lunch buffet at Tootie's in Philadelphia? Go on Wednesday for the fried chicken, rice and gravy, fried okra, Mexican cornbread, butter beans, and barbecue chicken. I rarely have room for dessert because the food is so good. Well, I need to go check this place out. Shaw's Wharf in New Harbor, Maine, a 3-pound lobster with potatoes, corn, and butter. There you go. 3 pounds. Catfish and steak platter at the Blue Bonnet Restaurant on Reelfoot Lake. All right. Sounds good. Had the privilege of being a guest at the Metro in Seattle, Washington, one of the top 10 steakhouses in the U.S., according to the Flight magazine, on the way to Seattle. I made a happy plate, best dadgum steak other than my own I ever had, and it was free.
Oh,
now we're talking.
Even better.
Why do you think the number one for me is one that went on the company card? Why do you think I picked that? Best meal, Texas de Brazil. I do love Texas de Brazil. Blue City Cafe on Bill Street. Been there 3 times, and one time got to sit in the back room where they had live blues music with Blind Mississippi on harmonica. He was fantastic. An Italian place on the Strip in Vegas. I can't remember the name. I think it starts with an M. I don't know. My Italian place starts with a C. All right, S, I'm sorry. Bob Sykes Barbecue in Bessemer. I love barbecue. My favorite steak was at the Epcot Canada Pavilion at Le Cellier. I've heard of this place. I've heard if you're going to go to Disney, this is the place to go eat. 1.5 inches thick, 22 ounce, perfectly cooked, just the right amount of char. A couple of dollops that melt on contact. Good stuff. Hawaiian ribeye at Hops Bar and Brewery. Sure. Does your rankings change if you have to pay for the meal? 7-course meal at Commander's Palace in New Orleans for a wedding. That's a good one. I got no problem putting
7 course?
I've had a 12-course meal once, and it's a chore. By the end of it, you're like, I'm not sure how much I really like food. We'll see. All right, we'll wrap it up with you here from Corinth when we come back at the Slug Burger Festival. Sports Talk Mississippi on the road. Back in just a minute.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
We have had a day here in Corinth at the Slug Burger Festival. We had some bad weather early, but we turned it around. We got it all taken care of, and we are ready to have a great time here tonight as the festival really gets going. We are joined now by Christy Burns. She's the director of Visit Corinth, which is right there. And thank you so much for having us here in
Welcome
Corinth.
to Corinth. We're glad you're here.
We're glad to be back. We were here a year ago. What's changed from the time we were here last year to this year?
We've got a new restaurant downtown.
Oh.
So it's called The Vault. In fact, we have everywhere downtown is either locally owned restaurants or locally owned shops. So anytime you come to Corinth and get downtown, you get to see and feel the vibrancy that we have downtown and and get a local flair for everything that we have. So
you have new things, but what makes these towns and these festivals great are the old things.
That's right. That's what we celebrate. Yeah,
exactly. What is the tradition of the Slug Burger Festival to you?
Well, I believe it started 39 years ago to try to get people back downtown. That was one goal. The other goal is to celebrate the Slug Burger itself and what it means to Corinth. So, the carnival rides is just nostalgic. The music that we have, the corn dogs, the funnel cakes. I mean, that brings back lots of good memories from my childhood. And so I remember coming here when I was a kid and loving taking home the little goldfish from all the little games. And my mom and dad just bless, I didn't live very long. But it's all the fun and the memories, core memories that you get from a festival like this.
So with Visit Corinth, obviously this is a huge weekend for the city. What else, year round, what is your goal to get people to come in here? What do you tell people about Corinth?
Well, we have a rich Civil War history here.
Yes.
And so the crossroads, which you're sitting right in front of, and the trains that go by here about every 45 minutes.
We got one earlier.
That really is a crown jewel in our crown. And then, of course, our downtown. We've got 10 blocks of stores and restaurants and businesses downtown. We've got restaurants. The locally owned restaurants are so good. Of course, shopping. We've got a lot of visitors that come here from shopping. We're really close to Pickwick, and so we get a lot of traffic coming through the summer here shopping and dining with us that go to Pickwick. So we're sitting right here on the crossroads of 72 and 45, and we get lots of traffic coming through here. I mean, for a town of 15,000 and a county of 35,000, we have over 20 locally owned restaurants.
Wow.
And those restaurants do over $90 million a year in sales. And so we love people to come to try our food. We love people to come shop in our shops. We love people to come eat our food. And I love to eat locally owned food or restaurants when I visit other towns. So why not celebrate the Slug Burger?
$90 million a year. Me and Will lived here. It'd be 91. That's between the two of us.
Well, come on.
You might want to move us up here.
Yeah.
So the Slug Burger Festival, 39 years this has been happening. Do you have a favorite Slug Burger Festival memory?
I think it's probably the carnival when I was younger, and just the way you love your town, and what kids always come back. When I was even in college, we always come back to Slug Burger Weekend and bring our friends to see our town and to have a good time. The entertainment, the carnival, it's just a fun time, and it gives you just this feeling of this is what that comfort feeling that you have when you come home. And so that really is probably mine. Even just when you look around the lights and all the rides, I mean, the colors, the lights, it's just beautiful at night too to watch it and hear it.
When we come to these festivals, and we do a lot of these kind of remotes, I love to see the interplay between the mayor was here and you and Angela, two great ambassadors for Corinth, great ambassadors for the state of Mississippi. The city and the tourism agents, they feel like in this town in particular, they have such a great relationship working together.
We do. We have a great relationship with our alliance. GT McCullough is over there. Them, tourism, Main Street, the city officials, the county officials, even our state representatives. I mean, they are so supportive of all things that we want to do. I mean, sometimes we have crazy ideas like putting, over 30,000 lights on top of buildings. They're like, you really want to do that? And we do. And it really brings people into town, and it makes the town just beautiful. And it creates this sense of pride. Yeah. And so when everybody works together and that wheel turns and moves, not only do we create an economic impact, but we make people proud to be Corinthians.
Yeah. And that's what these festivals are all about. I was talking to Angela about it. Like, I don't know what it is in the water or in the soil up here in North Mississippi, but we have so many of these great festivals, and this is certainly one of them. Appreciate you guys having Saturday. Before we go, same question I had for Angela. What is your personal Slug Burger record?
2, I think.
2?
Yeah.
The ladies here are so dainty.
Maybe 3. I don't know.
We had the mayor on, and he didn't want to say it out loud. Maybe it's because it's an election year.
Yeah.
I think it was like 14 or 15 for
Probably.
him.
Probably.
What's yours?
13.
Oh, wow.
Second eating contest.
There was there was an eating contest. Did you win?
I got second.
Oh, wow.
What did the guy that won get?
2 bites. Like 2 bites.
Oh, you got to power through, Andy.
I think we're bringing the Slug Burger eating contest back next year for the 40th. So stay tuned
if I
for that.
wasn't trying to lose weight, I'd come up here and I'd just dominate it. No questions asked. Christy, really appreciate y'all having us up here today. We've had a great time. We look forward to coming back next year.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right.
We look forward to it.
Michael Borky will be back from his sabbatical on Monday, and I'll be lying alongside with him 1 week away from SEC Media Days. And don't forget, next week we'll be at the Palmer home for our annual Radiothon. I want you to help us give back to the great state of Mississippi and to some people who really, really need our help. Talk to you guys then. Will, always a pleasure doing business with you. I'm Brian Haydad. We're here in Corinth. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk Mississippi. Have a great weekend, guys.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.